After nearly 27 hours of travel time due to flight cancellations and delays, Hannah and I finally landed in Bangor, Maine on the evening of August 7th. Waiting for us at the airport were our good friends Jason and McKenna. For the next 5 days, we would hike and explore many different areas of the Pine Tree State.
12, but it's a night flight, right?
Not supposed to be raining near as bad on the coast.
Oh, good.
I'll have to check the weather though. That's what last time.
It looks like today and tomorrow is rain. Wednesday, clear. Thursday, rain. Friday, clear.
Since our original plans for the beginning of the week were rescheduled due to the travel difficulties, we made the best of the situation by deciding to drive from Millinocket to Portland. Once a trading and a fishing settlement, Greater Portland has maintained much of its 19th century architecture, landmarks, and flavor, and its adventurous spirit is now woven into the region's fabric. The old port waterfront features working fishing wharves and converted warehouses with restaurants and shops.
But you don't like kettle chips? Why?
No, they're too hard. Ooh, thank you. Oh, sorry.
No.
What do you think?
After our time in Portland, we journeyed 30 minutes northeast to the Portland Head Lighthouse and Fort Williams Park. Cape Elizabeth is the home of Portland Head Light, which is situated along the spectacular shores of Fort Williams Park. We ended our night back in Portland at Lincoln's, which is a traditional speakeasy that is cash only, password protected, and without a designated address. The night was filled with revelry and good conversations with friends. We awoke the morning of August 9th along the shores of Casco Bay at Winslow Memorial Park and Campground, which is just outside of Freeport. This bay contains 37 miles of tidal coastline, including numerous inhabited islands, as well as a mix of rocky shorelines, iconic Maine clam flats, and riverine and estuarine ecosystems. Our ultimate destination for the day was reaching Acadia National Park, but we first detoured in Freeport to visit the flagship LL Bean campus. Leon Wood Bean, LL to everyone who knew him, was an avid hunter and fisherman from Freeport. Through his creation of the Maine hunting boot, later coined the Bean Boot, he jump-started a local outdoor business that is now a multi-million-dollar, internationally known company. It was early afternoon by the time we reached the main entrance to Acadia National Park, and the parking areas were already packed. Acadia is comprised of a cluster of islands on the Atlantic coast of Maine. Mountains, lakes, streams, wetlands, forests, meadows, and beaches are all found within its roughly 50,000 acres. We began our Acadia experience by hiking the 4-mile Ocean Path Trail, which showcases some beautiful Atlantic coastline with its jagged pink granite formations, standing up to the never-ending assault of the ocean's waves. Ocean Path is a family-friendly trail that follows a dramatic stretch of coastline between Sand Beach and Otter Point. Along the way, you will encounter several famous landmarks, including Sand Beach, Thunder Hole, Monument Cove, and the 110-foot-high Otter Cliff. Before we ended our hike for the day, we stopped at the ever-popular Sand Beach to gaze upon the waters of the Atlantic even closer. Sand Beach is what's called a natural pocket beach, about 300 yards wide, tucked at the northern end of Newport Cove between Great Head and the Beehive. It's actually only about half sand. The rest of the beach is made up of crushed bits of mussel and crab shells, sea urchin spines, and parts of other sea creatures. For the next 2 nights, we would stay at the Blackwoods campground within the national park, being surrounded by evergreens, the scents of campfires and distant ocean breezes, and sounds of nearby families basking in the mild summer nights together.
What makes a fire pop?
Yeah, come over here, my rock.
So we have all the energy for it.
Yeah.
And then Beehive is an option, which is similar, right? To
Yeah.
Precipice, but not as intense.
There was anticipation in the air when we woke on the morning of August 10th. One of the primary motivations for coming to Acadia was hiking the Precipice Trail. We were unsure if it was even going to happen due to the yearly peregrine falcon nesting season that closes all trails on Champlain Mountain. We were divinely blessed, though, when we learned the week of our departure that it had been opened for the season. The precipice ascends the east face of Champlain Mountain, which begins just off the Park Loop Road. This trail is widely considered one of the most dangerous hikes in America, for it rises about 1,000 feet in only 0.8 of a mile. In addition, a jungle gym of iron rungs awaits hikers up this sheer cliff, which offers thrilling ascents and tremendous views of Frenchman Bay. When the trail was first opened in 1914, it was referred to as, quote, the Alpine Path, because of its similarity to those ascending the Alps and being, quote, the most like the paths of the mountains of Switzerland to be found on this side of the Atlantic.
Woo! Do y'all want to go? Maybe. Yeah. What are these? Improve the monkey stairs?
Yeah.
Oh, get up here. I didn't think so. I was like,
But this is the orange and black trail. We have to hook back on.
yeah.
Come on. Picture of the YouTuber.
I did that on purpose.
I got the YouTuber again.
Wow. Catching him in his natural habitat
I know.
quite often. hit a tree.
That's gotta be ultralight.
He doesn't own anything but ultralight.
That'd be sweet.
Stop the video. This isn't cool anymore.
Pull apart. That's Shove that in my face.
Well, you took it. That's why I don't buy that.
Oh, man.
Better. If you listen to what he says, almost everything is a play on words.
Everything's a quote.
Spread out below are the Porcupine Islands, which lie just offshore Bar Harbor in Frenchman Bay. The views at the top are completely indescribable.
So how much would it take to convince you to go down the same way that we came up? What would it take?
Instead of it being like just at the top.
Hey Jason, what's the name of this trail?
The
Precipice Trail.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
What is it actually called?
The Precipice Trail.
Say land crab.
Hey, I am educated. I'm smart and educated. I pronounce words the correct way.
A few moments later.
Precipice.
Yes! Before we began our second hike for the day at Acadia on August 10th, we first stopped at one of the many scenic beachfront views along Park Loop Road to have lunch.
So everybody's cool with me using this knife just breath.
Are you serious?
Our next hike was the Jordan Pond Path, which traverses the shores of Jordan Pond, one of Acadia's most iconic landscapes. At 150 feet, Jordan Pond is Acadia's deepest and clearest lake, and is the second largest at 187 acres. Located in a steep valley carved out by the retreat of glaciers, Jordan Pond is bordered by Penobscot, Pametic, and two rounded peaks known as the Bubbles. On this hike, you have the opportunity to hear the calls of common loons, search for signs of beaver activity, and watch the granite cliffs above for nesting peregrine falcons. Formed by the Wisconsin ice sheet thousands of years ago, the Jordan Pond area is an excellent place to appreciate Acadia's glacially carved landscape. As glaciers moved through the area thousands of years ago, they created U-shaped valleys, resulting in long finger lakes and ridge lines which run north to south. Once we began the second half of the Jordan Path loop, we left the ladies to soak in the sun along the pond, while Jason and I headed north to summit the South Bubble, which is one of the two iconic mountains overlooking Jordan Pond and the surrounding landscapes of Mount Desert Island. South Bubble Mountain rises to a lofty 768 feet, and its treeless summit offers expansive 360-degree views of the park's exquisite and pristine Atlantic landscapes. The trail starts climbing in earnest right from the beginning, gaining over 300 feet in less than half a mile as the trail ascends. The path quickly turns into a jumble of boulders and eventually becomes a Class 3 scramble, which includes rock climbing with exposure and the requiring of the use of hands. Once on the summit, the views of Jordan Pond and the surrounding mountains are breathtaking. After our quick ascent, we rejoin with the ladies to complete the loop and then begin our quest to find more local seafood in Bar Harbor before retiring back at Blackwoods Campground for the night.
Blueberry mojito. What, they crushed the blueberries in it?
Yep.
August the 11th was our last full day at Acadia. We crafted a plan where we would drop the ladies off at Sand Beach to read and relax, while Jason and I continued to do more hiking within the park. The Beehive Trail was another bucket list hike for us to tackle. This bump on the southern slope of Champlain Mountain, which provides a scenic backdrop for visitors on Sand Beach, resembles a beehive from below. In 1908, it was the first important acquisition of a local land trust to protect the land that eventually was turned into Acadia National Park. The 3/4 mile Beehive Trail up to the 520-foot summit of this rocky outcrop starts between the Ocean Drive entrance station and the beach. It's a special favorite of many hikers in Acadia. Short enough to not be exhausting, but still in several spots requiring close concentration. If the sloping granite sections of the trail get wet, your hike can be death-defying. An occasional bridge or iron rungs near the top of the trail add to the excitement. Once we reached the top of the Beehive, we soaked in the view for a few moments, and then took an alternate, less steep route that leads you down and around the mountain pond known as the Bowl. We later summited Gorham Mountain before it returns you to your starting point.
get dogs. I guess I bet he might kind of Photoshop. C'est ça. Tu prends la pierre. Elle est là. Tu la reprends.
After completing the Beehive Trail, we had lunch with the ladies at Sand Beach, which included enjoying another local Maine staple, the whoopie pie.
Better now?
I think we should hold on to it as punishment.
Our last stop on our Acadia circuit was Cadillac Mountain. Rising to 1,530 feet, Cadillac Mountain achieves the highest elevation in Acadia National Park and on Mount Desert Island, and is also the highest point along the Atlantic Ocean north of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. From the first week of October to the first week of March, when the sun rises south of due east, Cadillac's summit is the first place in the continental U.S. to greet the rising sun. People have enjoyed the spectacular views from Cadillac Mountain for thousands of years, as this area is the homeland of the Wabanaki people. European settlement on Mount Desert Island began in the 1600s, and soon after the summit was used for mapping the coastline. By the late 1800s, Cadillac Mountain was a popular destination for tourists. On a clear day, you can see up to 100 miles away.
Come on, run, you're gonna miss it. Sweaty pants.
Can we all shout Maine on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Alright, let me get the film.
It's Samuel.
There was one more adventure that the four of us wanted to experience before we ended our day on August the 11th. One of the biggest maritime industries and pastimes along coastal Maine is clamshell fishing, and we were all salivating at the possibility of having some fresh, local seafood for dinner that night. So, we all bought single-day fishing permits at Bar Harbor and then traveled to Hadley Point Beach to try our hand at what is known as clamming.
Okay, so I see a bunch of holes over here.
Okay, alright. You do you. Start digging. We want some meat. Look at that. Whoa. A lobster tail. Oh my gosh.
The best time to visit the clam flats is during falling tide, at low tide, or at the earlier stages of the incoming tide. Then, one simply walks along the beach and looks for holes in the mud near the water line. The holes will typically be the same circumference as your index finger. That is your sign that a clam is present. You can use a rake, a trowel, your hands, or a plunger to retrieve the buried treasures. Then you plunge, rake, or dig a hole with your hands about a foot deep. You want to be careful not to break the clam, and very careful not to cut your finger when reaching down to extract the clam from its hole. After finding and digging your first few clams, the practice becomes fairly simple, and the goal is to harvest a fair amount of them before the tide comes in and washes away your hopes of having enough for dinner.
Ooh, that's a good one right there.
Oh, I found a good one. Check. Oh, there's something coming out of
That's
it.
good. That's the meat. That's fine.
That's a meaty one. Yeah. She gets all the meaty ones. Yeah, buddy. I only go for the meat. They know who they
You've
come
also
and
got
get.
a perfect circle.
Of a hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of anal. Oop, 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 oop. Oh, there's a shell. This shell. Nice. That's a good one.
It's hard to tell if it's dirt in there. It looks like it's...
After collecting our harvest, we retired at the Bar Harbor Oceanside KOA Holiday, where we had a cozy cabin tucked in among towering evergreens to accompany our night of coastal eatery.
What's that? Kenny, you want to check it out? Whoa, it's steamy. Nice.
You alright?
Were there still some... Were they good or...
I couldn't tell.
Sorry.
That's
we'll
alright.
go again. Anyone popped yet? That one's about to. See that?
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting close. There's a lot that are really close. Oh, you just slurp it. I'm just really not a fan of dirt, so.
Let me see the slurp.
Okay.
I would show you, but Samuel's gonna
Okay.
record me slurping.
Ready?
Okay. Oh wait, that was terrible.
Thoughts?
Great. A little crispy.
Still feeling.
Drunkard.
Don't get me in it. I'm struggling over here. Do you hear it?
She got
I'm not
some
here.
dirt in her clam.
You got this. You're good. Just think about it as
Eat some more. It'll dilute it. Or swallow it. Just swallow it. Just swallow it. Eat some and swallow it.
Just
Or
ignore
get a
it.
drink of water and swallow it.
It's not real. You're in the Matrix.
Get a drink of water, swish it around, swallow it. Don't spit it out, swallow it. My gosh.
For the cameraman.
Oh, swallow it. Don't spit it out.
The dirt is poison.
are you gonna drink it or what?
Oh, are you recording
Yes,
it? Oh,
this whole time. This is blooper magic.
been cackling.
Bottoms up. Oh, come on.
You can't chug wine, man.
Bet.
August 12th was our last full day in Maine and was set to be our biggest adrenaline rush yet. August 12th and 14th are also Hannah's and McKenna's birthdays, respectively, and skydiving was Hannah's big birthday request for this year. Our reservation was with Jump and Raft out of Waterville, and they were one of the most accommodating companies to work with after our traveling woes earlier in the week.
It all worked out.
The situation turned out to be a big blessing for all of us, especially for Hannah in getting to experience something so special for her on her actual birthday. All four of us would get the opportunity to tandem skydive, which uses the dual instruction approach similar to learning how to fly an airplane. Our tandem instructor was our lifeline through the entire process.
Is that your pockets?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yo,
What's up?
how you doing?
How you feeling, Jason?
I'm ready to go.
To go where? What are we doing?
We're going to the sky.
Yes, we are, my man. What's the occasion today? What are we doing?
We're celebrating a birthday and
Awesome.
jumping out of 2 birthdays.
2 birthdays.
And we're jumping out of a plane.
That is awesome.
I don't know why they chose to do that to celebrate a birthday.
Best way to celebrate, man. Best way. Well, second best. Hey, what's up, Sam?
Hey,
How you feeling, man?
feeling great. Beautiful day. Can't
Yes,
wait
it
to
is.
See the landscape from the top of the skies.
So what are we gonna do, my man? Skydive?
We are going to skydive.
Yes, we are, my
with
man.
My wife on her birthday.
Oh, so that's the occasion.
It
She's
is.
the guilty
This
one.
was her gift request.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
27.
That's awesome. What a great gift. Are you nervous at all?
I think I will be once I get in there. Right now I'm trying to ignore that small voice inside my head.
Good call, man. Good call. Alrighty, any last words before we get on board?
Just thankful we get to have this experience. This
Oh,
is gonna
yeah.
be a trip of a lifetime.
I agree with that, my man. Let's do this. Let's
do
have
it.
some fun. Woo! Yeah.
The plane ride lasted 10 minutes, and the view from the drop zone was mesmerizing. Maine's beautiful lakes and majestic mountains were the perfect backdrop to this thrill-seeking end to a week full of adventure. When the time came for us to jump, we exited the plane at 11,000 feet, and the free fall lasted for nearly a minute as we reached speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. In reality, it was surprising to feel totally in control when in free fall. The wind actually felt like a cushion of air suspending us in space and felt more like floating than falling. Once the parachute was opened, our instructor glided us gently back to Earth. The canopy ride lasted for about 5 to 9 minutes, depending on how fast we liked to fly the parachute. The canopy was rectangular in shape, similar to the wing of an airplane, and completely controllable.
man.
Thank you.
How was that, Sam?
That was one of the best experiences ever.
I know, right? Step down a little bit. There you go. How crazy was that, my man?
Thank you.
Thank
That
you,
was
Sam.
awesome.
Would you do that again?
100%.
Oh yeah. Nicely done, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Good job. How was that,
That was
man?
killer. That was good.
Would you do that again?
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think?
That was awesome.
Wasn't it cool?
Come on, I need more emotion,
Cool.
Jason.
That was really cool.
McKenna's got the right idea.
That's awesome.
Really cool. The first, whenever they opened the door, and I was like,
Yay! I love it.
whenever they opened the door, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
Sam
exactly what I thought.
And then McKenna went, and I was like, oh man.
Yep, she gone.
Over, so you sorry?
After our exhilarating time in the air, we had the afternoon to eat and relax in Maine's capital city of Augusta, which rests along the shores of the Kennebec River. Jason paddleboarded, I fished, and the ladies relaxed to cap off this incredible journey together.